Okay, we're now live and ready to go.
Good evening and good afternoon to the Napa Valley College regular and organizational meeting of the Napa Valley College Board of Trustees. Showing 4:36 p.m. Catherine, will you please call roll?
Yes, Trustee Baker. Trustee Dodd.
Here.
Trustee Goff. Here. Trustee Iverson.
Here.
Trustee DeLuna.
Here.
Trustee Rios.
Here.
Student Trustee Schall.
Here.
And Trustee Baldini.
Here.
Okay, thank you. We're all present.
Thank you. Moving into 2.2, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm sure we'll get better as we move through 2021. Moving to 2.3, adoption of the agenda. It has been presented and posted. I'd like to move item 9 in its entirety to item 19. And move 11.7 to 16.2. That is the Napa Valley College San Diego State University Research Foundation. And postpone item 19.2 through 19.5 to January 2021, the regular meeting of Board of Trustees. Any other changes proposed, comments? Hearing none, we'll adopt the changes with consensus. Moving to 3, a general election of the November 3rd, 2020. 3.1, acceptance of certification of the election for the County of Napa. This is an action item. May I have a
Move to approve. Second.
been moved,
Or accept or whatever.
moved to approve by Jennifer Baker.
Second.
Do we hear a second? Second by, it's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any comments from the public, Catherine?
Sorry, no.
No comments from the public. Is there any comments from the trustees? Hearing none, it's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor will go on a roll call. Catherine, please.
Oh, you're having me do that. Okay. Trustee Baker.
Aye.
Trustee Dodd.
Yes.
Trustee Goff. Aye. Trustee Iverson.
Here.
Trustee DeLuna.
Aye.
Trustee Rios.
Yes.
Student Trustee Schall.
Aye.
And Trustee Baldini.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries. 3.2, ceremonial swearing in of our trustees from the 2020 election.
Can you
Dr.
open,
Kraft?
okay. Can you open this one up? Thank you. And this is Trustee DeLuna has been sworn in, and she may decide to go through this as well. Ceremonially for Baker and Trustee Rios, this is the official swearing in that will begin your next 4 years. So I think I'm going to ask you if you would both do this. We're going to read this together. I will go through it and you can repeat after me. All right? So if we're all okay. So I, and please state your name.
I, Raphael
I,
Baker,
Jennifer Baker,
solemnly swear that I will support
do solemnly swear that I will support
and defend the Constitution
and
and defend the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take these obligation freely, that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties into which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties into which I am about to enter.
Congratulations. You are now sworn and official for the next 4 years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're right, Michael.
Yep.
It does lack a little, word, but
Poppin'.
yeah, pomp and
Well,
ceremony.
welcome back to the board.
I already ate them though, so.
Keep that champagne bottle off to the side. I see it back there. So, so moving on to the recognition of Trustee Rosario Segura as board chair and president. Dr. Kraft, will again you take the lead on this, please?
Yes, thank you. We are honored tonight. The way that the system works is kind of a smooth transition of trustees. Rosada stepped aside to pursue other things, and Inez de Luna stepped into that role. Inez was sworn as trustee, so she's a sitting trustee. Rosada attends tonight as an alumni of the board, and we're honoring her. Again, normally Rosada, it's been an honor to work with you, and we have some other things for you. And you'll notice that I cannot hand you this wonderful inscribed gavel, and it shares the dates that you were on the board and Napa Valley College. So we have that here in my office, and we'll make sure to get that to you as soon as possible. And then maybe if you wouldn't mind, Michael, there's a resolution, and I think as Vice President, that would be great. Or in the past, we have asked different trustees to share part of the work here.
Do we want to round robin?
Yes, let's do that. We'll each take a whereas. So, resolution number 20-17 by the Board of Trustees of the Napa Valley Community College District in honor of Rosario Segura. Whereas Rosario Segura served as president of the Board of Trustees and has many times provided leadership and insight to committees and appointments of the board. And Jennifer?
Whereas Rosario served the college and guided the Board of Trustees well during a difficult year. And Jeff?
Whereas Rosario always appreciated and recognized the work and concerns of others, identified points of pride, and inspired students and colleagues to reach for their goals. And is that Trustee Goff?
Whereas Rosario is a close member of the campus family, not the least through her participation in a number of campus activities, ceremonies, events, and projects. And Rafael?
Whereas Rosario will be remembered for her sense of humor, her delicious grapes, and her resilience during a pandemic. And Inez?
Whereas Rosada's enthusiasm for representing the college and for representing her constituent group was exemplary. Michael?
Maybe Will.
I think Kyle. How about Kyle?
Okay.
I think we missed one anyway.
Kyle. Where did Kyle go?
He's muted.
I was
Oh,
muted. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees on behalf of the college and the community, thank Rosara Guerra for her service as a trustee and board president chair.
Ron, Dr. Kraft.
I would love to do this. I'm going to pass it to Will Shull, who's also a trustee, and I would love for him to get a little air.
Passed and adopted by the governing board of the Napa Valley Community College District in Napa County, California, this 17th day of December 2020.
And pretend I'm signing it as you speak down there. So, congratulations, Rosada. It's been my honor to serve with you the entire time. And as superintendent president, it's critical, as you know, for board chair to really help guide the ship. And wonderful job. Thank you so much. And we'll miss you.
No, thank you. And it was an honor to have served the district, and it was an honor to have gotten to know all of you and to work along with you. Not all of you tasted my grapes, but that may be coming because, I don't know. I may go away, I may not. And yes, that gavel really beats this one. This one I was using as a gavel. So I can't wait to get the real one. Thank you. Thank you all for putting up with me. And again, it was an honor. And keep doing the good stuff that you guys are doing. And I know that we know that it hasn't been easy. And thank you for guiding everybody, faculty, administrators through the pandemic. And thank you for your support. And I'll be seeing you for sure. If not here in Italy, yes. There's a really nice place to go and and just sit under the olive trees and look at the ocean and listen to the wind and yeah. So I expect you, some of you, or all of you to come visit me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And this is thank you. This is an action item, so I do need a motion and a second.
Move to approve.
Second, Iverson. I don't know who made the motion, but I heard it.
Rios.
Raphael. It's been approved and properly seconded. I will go through the list. Jennifer Baker.
Aye.
Inez de Luna.
Aye.
Trustee Dodd.
Yes,
Aye.
yes.
Trustee Goff.
Aye.
Trustee Iverson.
Aye.
Trustee Rios.
Aye.
Trustee Scholl.
Aye.
And Baldini, aye. Thank you very much again, Rosada. Next up is 4.2. We have another resolution, 18 years, Cheryl Fernandez, and our Vice President of Student Services, Oscar DeHaro, will be presenting.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's my honor this evening to share with the board my words of sentiment on the workmanship and the camaraderie that Cheryl Fernandez and I have held for a number of years, as well as other members of the campus staff. Cheryl was here when I arrived 16 years ago, and immediately she and I hit it off very, very well. There was something that was in common, that we saw a true sense of genuine camaraderie with each other. But then I really had the opportunity to see her in action when I would be faced with some difficult situations that I have to deal with students that involve students who may have had disabilities that I was not aware of. So I immediately would call upon Cheryl, to assist me with meeting with the students, and many times in meeting with the parents, to explain the situation that they were facing and their behavior in the classroom and the like. And what I learned is that the situations were not one of discipline or conduct that was inappropriate. It was on my part really understanding what the situation was at hand with the disability that the students had and that they were portraying in the classroom. So Cheryl has taught me a whole deal. it is evident to me that for her, students are number one, and they have been in her heart, in her practice and in her activities since I had met her. And so I simply wanted to tell Cheryl that I truly appreciate the workmanship, the friendship that we held for 18 years. Well, actually not 18 years, but 16 years. But also you, Cheryl, with the friendship that you built here over the 18-year period, almost as 19 years worth with the rest of the campus. And so I want to wish you the very best in your new venture. And probably will be some dancing involved because that's one of your joys. But I wanted to just simply say that you will definitely be missed. You will be missed by me especially, because again, what you taught me is something that I will never forget and I will always cherish for the rest of my life. Thank you, Cheryl.
Are you ready, trustees?
Given the last one, maybe
just
you ought to just read it.
All right. Thanks for your patience, Dean Fernandez. Resolution number 2018 of the Board of Trustees of Napa Valley Community College District in honor of Dean Cheryl Fernandez. Whereas Cheryl, during her 18 years of service, consistently demonstrated genuine passion about her work, heartfelt consideration to others, and practice undivided professionalism. And whereas Cheryl has shown unwavering dedication to the disability community as a whole, and specifically to the deaf community as a skilled interpreter. Cheryl's expertise in serving students with disabilities as a counselor and administrator will be greatly missed, but her legacy will continue on with the DSPS department that she worked so diligently to create. And whereas Cheryl is both empathetic and demonstrated a keen understanding of student needs by always putting students first in her counseling and her administrative roles and decisions. And whereas Cheryl will be remembered as a skilled certified sign language interpreter whose expertise and experience were instrumental in communicating with our hard of hearing students in the classroom, in the counseling sessions, and also in our college commencement ceremonies and many other activities where assistance was needed. And whereas Cheryl's greatest strengths are her teamwork skills, compassionate, friendly personality, communication skills, resourcefulness, and her passion in meeting the needs and working with the DSPS students. And whereas Cheryl, a naturally caring person, displayed her tenacity for obtaining results for our students despite many challenges, while always taking the high road. And whereas Cheryl was always willing to support her NVC colleagues in becoming great advocate parents for their own kids and learning how to navigate the special education and IEP accommodations environment at the K through 12 and college level. And whereas many employees will remember Cheryl for her acting and dancing interest and ability, dressing up for Halloween, tap dancing, and having laughs with many other present and past counselors and colleagues. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the Board of Trustees, on behalf of the college and the community, thank Dean Cheryl Fernandez for her service as an administrator and a member of the counseling faculty. Passed and adopted, depending on our trustees' vote coming up, by the governing board of Napa Valley Community College District in Napa County, California, the 17th day of December, 2020. And this is a action item, so motion and second, please.
Iverson, move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Iverson and seconded by trustee Baker. Jennifer Baker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Inez de Luna, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Jeff Dodd, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Elizabeth Goff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Kyle Iverson, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Rafael Rios, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee William Scholl, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Baldini votes aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much again. Do you have any words for us, Dean Fernandez?
Yes, I just want to thank the entire campus. I want to thank the Board of Trustees. I want to thank all of the wonderful administrators that I've had the opportunity in the last 3.5 years to work with. Great relationship and camaraderie that we've shared, and I feel that we were able to move the needle in many different areas, and this I'm really grateful for. I had the opportunity to report to a wonderful supervisor that always will elicit the best from you in performing your work, and that was Vice President Oscar DeHaro. And I couldn't have asked for a better person to collaborate with and also function under. But the college community, I want to say, is fabulous. At Napa College, we really have a wonderful community. We really, really do. And I love it at Napa Valley College. I wouldn't have asked for another college to be at. We have wonderful students. We are able to support them in ways that larger campuses just can't. So I've always appreciated that and want to thank everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your dedication all these years. So I kind of hope you're at home and that background is not the office, but what can you tell us? Are you still at work?
I'm at the office.
Oh, gosh. Well, thank you. That's reflective of your dedication. Thank you very much for doing what you do. Any other comments from my trustees?
Not a trustee.
Fellow trustees. Yes, there's Dr. Kraft.
Good. Yeah, Cheryl, I was just thinking the same thing. It's to me, you are the essence of the beautifully caring culture of Napa Valley College. I mean, I don't think there's a time I ever talked to you where you weren't just trusting and open and ready to solve something or offer advice, and it's been such a pleasure. I'm personally just going to miss all of those connections, and thank you. It's been wonderful to see your step into this role, which was not particularly an easy one, and you handled it with grace and seamlessly in a way that I just thought was very powerful. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you and good night. Moving to item 5, public comment on closed session items. At this time, the board will devote a total of up to 15 minutes to hear comments regarding closed session agenda items, which are 6.1, conference with real property negotiators, and 6.2, conference with labor negotiators. Individual comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Catherine, is there any that wish or choose to speak this evening?
No, sir, we have no comments.
So with that, the board will move into closed session. Our approximate return time will be 6:00 p.m. So we'll be back. Thank you very much. Very good. Good evening and thank you for your patience. You've joined the Napa Valley College Board of Trustees. We just returned from closed session, and we have one announcement from closed session as we are presently at 7.1 on your agenda. We're pulling item 13.2 from the agenda. The importance of the resolution wording warrants further board discussion, so that'll come back at a later date. Thank you. So moving on to public comment and guidelines. The public certainly has the opportunity, and it's governed by the State of California Brown Act. By definition, this is an opportunity for us to hear concerns, perspectives, and differing vantage points on items that are not appearing on the agenda. The board is not able under the Brown Act to engage in any level of conversation or discussion, but we look forward to the opportunity to gather community input. At this time, the Board of Trustees will devote up to 15 minutes to review comment to the Board of Trustees, again, regarding any subject not appearing as an agenda item for this meeting, but over which the board has jurisdiction. The public may request that the board place an item related to the business of the district on a future board agenda. No action or discussion will occur at this time on such items. Each comment shall last no longer than 3 minutes. Catherine, is there any public comment?
I see no public comment.
Well, thank you very much. And we'll move to item 9, and that's the reports, beginning with the Academic Senate report. Dr. Eileen Tejada, President.
Good evening, everyone. Trustees, colleagues, students, and members of the public. Tonight, I would like to open my end of year or end of semester report by acknowledging that Napa Valley College sits on the unceded land and sacred ground of the Michoal, the Mututiso, the Mayakma, Patwin, and Miwok nations. I am giving my report from the unceded land of the Ohlone. Everything that we do at this college is framed in this reality. This has been a challenging year, presenting us with unprecedented challenges, a pandemic that has claimed 300,000 lives and counting. Add to that the adverse and uncertain impact of a volatile economy, and it has been a perfect storm of challenges and trauma and a makeup for failure. But here we are. At Napa Valley College, that has not been the case. This Academic Senate has revised over 15 policies and administrative procedures this year. We continue, we created and approved the credit for prior learning BP and AP on schedule to meet the legislative deadline of December 2020. We have revised our Academic Senate bylaws and constitution. We have approved curriculum. We created an instructional design institute, which met the needs of faculty during the beginning of this pandemic, and continues to help faculty with our online courses to meet the distance ed rubric, as well as we created and launched a culturally responsive pedagogy workshop that has us leading the state, where we used the expertise of faculty who continued to study and apply culturally responsive pedagogy when it was not popular to do so. I include myself in this group, and I'd like to just let the board know that the Academic Senate Instructional Design Institute will be submitting a grant proposal in the spring, for spring and summer, for equity funds, and at the advice of the IEPI PRT group, we will be submitting a grant proposal to IEPI in February to grow and reorganize faculty professional development and continue to our project of becoming a regional center for pedagogy training. The Senate Educational Technology Committee has collected data to ensure that faculty voice is represented at the district technology level. And we passed several documents that will be shared with the district committee, the District Technology Committee. The Professional Development Committee proposed and the Academic Senate in business session approved the Spring Flex Day agenda. We continue to lead and participate in guided pathways, and all while teaching and nurturing our students. Showing up as well for our families. The accomplishment of the Academic Senate does not happen in a vacuum. They are the result of a healthy collaboration which exemplifies effective communication, a knowledge of the role of the Academic Senate as defined by law, and the collective will of the Napa Valley College community to work together for the good of our students. We know that when we work together, there is nothing that we can't do at Napa Valley College. Earlier this year, the college leadership made some hiring decisions that stopped our hiring in the spring midstream. There was not a coherent process followed. And then in the fall, the Office of the President announced the hire of an equity director. And in addition, during the hiring freeze, some senior administration and classified were hired. The lack of a clear process in making these decisions caused frustration and bewilderment among the faculty. And so the faculty in the Faculty Senate in October approved the following resolution. I did not have, I wasn't here for our November meeting, and I just felt that it was more appropriate for me as the Academic Senate President to read the resolution to the board. The Academic Senate in business session voted this resolution. Whereas Title V, Section 53200 defines the Academic Senate as an organization whose primary function is to make recommendations to the administration of the college and to the governing board with respect to academic and professional matters, including processes for institutional planning and budget development. Whereas Title V, Section 53203 requires that the governing board or its designee consult collegially with the Academic Senate on such academic and professional matters. Whereas in May 2020, the President's office, without consulting the Academic Senate, declared a hiring freeze that terminated a previously approved faculty position that had advanced to the final stage of the hiring process. Whereas subsequent to the hiring freeze, the President's office actively promoted and recruited senior administrative and classified staff, including an associate dean, an interim senior dean, and a senior director. Whereas the above hiring decisions were made without consulting the Academic Senate nor the Shared Governance Planning and Budget Committee, be it resolved that the Napa Valley College Academic Senate affirms its primacy in the development and implementation of all academic and professional matters, including processes for institutional planning and budget development. Resolved that the Napa Valley College Academic Senate recommends that the Board of Trustees takes immediate steps to increase transparency in hiring decisions that have campus-wide implications. Resolved that the Napa Valley College Academic Senate recommends that the Planning and Budget Committee review their processes, associated bylaws, and administrative procedures to determine how current practices can be improved to allow for effective faculty consultation in hiring decisions. Resolved that the Napa Valley College Academic Senate recommends that the Planning and Budget Committee establish a faculty-led subcommittee to assess whether the current and projected balance of administrators, classified staff, and faculty is conducive to the fulfillment of the college's mission. Resolved that the Napa Valley College Academic Senate recommends that in the spirit of equity and good faith, that the hiring and or promotion of senior administrative and classified positions be halted until processes are put in place to ensure there is effective faculty input consistent with legal mandates and college procedures. The Faculty Senate. The Faculty Senate remains committed to fulfill our legal mandates and that the Napa Valley, and that Napa Valley College continues to serve its students and meet its accreditation that revolves around the 10+1. We want to ensure that we have the input as dictated by law, that we have the academic senate in those conversations at the beginning, and that we establish processes and have those processes written down and accessible to the college community. So in addition to this frustration with the planning and budget process as it relates to hiring, we also had, in spite of what I consider a victory in terms of our ability to revise policies and administrative procedures in an effective manner, there has been some discussion and some confusion on the part of the Office of the President around the policies and procedures of the role of the Senate in policy revision. And so the Office of the President requested a technical visit from the State Academic Senate. Now, the only one who is authorized to make that request to the State Academic Senate is the Napa Valley College Academic Senate, yours truly. And I believe that in the spirit of professional development and in the spirit of wanting to work collaboratively and really extend professional development opportunity to our colleagues, I went ahead and had an emergency executive committee meeting, and we took this up so that the executive committee could recommend to the Senate in business session approval of my going to the State Academic Senate to request a technical visit. The Academic Senate Executive Committee voted unanimously to recommend to the Academic Senate in business session to authorize the technical visit. And so in the spring, I will be making that request so that we can better understand our roles and our where the boundaries are and how we might create a process that works effectively. I will also be requesting that the Board of Trustees, the entire Board of Trustees, be present at that technical visit to receive the training along with us. And I want to say, I want to extend a special thank you for the board members who spoke with me, as it is legally the right of the Academic Senate President to meet with individual board members. I have established that I had meant to do it earlier in my tenure, but things were really busy. So I want to say thank you for meeting with me and individually. Let's see, where am I? Okay, so I'll be requesting. I will be requesting the technical visit in January when we return after the Senate approves my approaching the State Academic Senate for the visit. And so, in closing, I wish to acknowledge Trustee Segura. Trustee Segura, I have appreciated your work on our board. You have served with an open heart and a listening ear, and I really appreciate that. I would be remiss if I did not mention that as an Afro-Taína, Afro-Puerto Riqueña, it has been a privilege and an honor to have you on the Board of Trustees, representing our community and our students. And so, begging the indulgence of the board, te quiero felicitar en tu éxito como líder de Napa Valley College. Aprecio mucho su labor y la extrañaré mucho, su presencia aquí. Le deseo todo lo mejor, con mucho cariño y sentimiento como mujer latina. I wish the Board of Trustees and colleagues a happy and safe holiday. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Diana. Moving on to Robert Harris, the Administrative Confidential Senate Report. Robert Harris.
Yes. Good evening. The Administrative Senate has been very busy this fall semester, as everybody has, and we recently put the final touches and approvals on an ethics statement that we'll be posting on our website. The original statement, established in 1904, has been updated and revised, and is consistent with the general ethics statement of the Association of California Community College Administrators, also known as ACCA. We've also been actively engaged in ongoing planning and administration of the processes of the college related to classroom, faculty, facility, and overall campus operations during the pandemic. And although we are not frontline with the students, we take great pride in doing everything we can to move the college forward so we can continue doing the wonderful work that we have been doing as a campus. We've been working with faculty and staff to preserve the educational quality that Napa Valley College is known for in our region. There are two primary words that have proven to be key during the last calendar year: flexibility and resiliency. The members of the Administrative Senate take pride in working side by side with all members of the campus to continue working to maintain the quality educational offerings to our community and to maintain the campus commitment to our students. The Administrative Senate recognizes and honors the work and service to students and the college by Cheryl Fernandez, who recently noted her retiring, and earlier this evening received the proclamation. As previously noted this evening, Cheryl has worked tirelessly to support, promote, and advocate for students to achieve their best. She has been a member of the Administrative Senate as a Dean for Disability Support Programs and Services for a short time, but she has left an indelible mark that will not be forgotten. And on a personal, non-Administrative Senate note, I would like to publicly take this opportunity to acknowledge the work of nursing professor Regina Orozco. Regina is a graduate of the Napa Valley College nursing program and has been a tenured professor in the nursing program for approximately 10 years. Last month, Regina defended her dissertation and completed all requirements to complete and earn her PhD in nursing science and healthcare administration from UC Davis. Congratulations to Dr. Regina Orozco, and on behalf of the Administrative Senate, I'd like to wish everyone in attendance and throughout the campus community best wishes for a wonderful, peaceful, and healthy holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. From the Associated Students of Napa Valley College, USB Inez, President. Are you in the audience, sir?
USB is not present, I believe.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Classified Association Report, Valerie Mole, President. Valerie, are you with us tonight? Moving along, Classified Senate Report, Martin Shoemaker, President. And the Faculty Association Report, Christy Owamoto, President.
Hi, everybody. I actually think Valerie is here. She just unmuted herself. I don't know if she wanted to go first.
Thank you, Christy. I was waiting
there she
for
is.
Catherine and discovered I was able to do it, so I apologize for not being prepared. Thank you, Christy. Our Classified Association report is very brief. First of all, I would like to, on behalf of our classified professionals, bid farewell to Trustee Segura, welcome returning trustees Baker and Rios, and new trustees DeLuna and student trustees. So we're very happy to have you on board. Classified staff are going to continue to work under flexible work arrangements into the spring semester, otherwise known as telecommuting, necessitated by continued COVID-19 restrictions, and will continue until further notice. It seems that this month we have no newly hired classified staff, reclassifications, reassignments, separations, or retirements on the agenda this evening. So it's nice to have a little stability for 1 month. And then finally, on behalf of the classified professionals, I want to thank the Board of Trustees and the college administration for your continued support of classified professionals. Our wish for you is that you are able to hold some positive memories from 2020 and find a new sense of hope and promise as we enter 2021. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Christy.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
All right. Hello, everyone, tonight, and hello, board. We're getting a lot of good work done in negotiations regarding both ongoing salary negotiations and changes to the language while working under an expired contract. There are some things that are sort of works in progress right now, but overall, the association is happy with the work managed to get done during this time. We hope to continue this momentum and progress as we move into the spring. I wanted to congratulate the incoming and elected board members, and I also wanted to thank Trustee Segura for her years of service to and support for the faculty and the association. I often saw her at functions for our instructors and our students. She gave a lot of herself to this college, and I will miss most of all just smiling across from her at the table during board meetings and seeing her smiling back. This has been a challenging year at best, mentally, physically, and emotionally for all of us. But I am also so proud of all of us for making it through, and I hope for a productive and far less exhausting spring semester. And that is my report.
Thank you very much. President Dr. Kraft.
Hello out there. Thank you. And I'll call on cabinet members in a moment, but I did want to say, we're coming to the end of the semester. Thank you, Christy, for your work, and Valerie. I think that the momentum and progress with our folks is coming along, and very excited about that, and happy that we are kind of moving that dial. Also, I want to reach out often the Administrative Confidential Group, Bob Harris and team seldom get the kudos. They work very long hours, extraordinarily beyond the call often to keep the ship going and right. So Bob and team, congratulations, and you're losing a wonderful dean in Cheryl Fernandez, who was also a magnificent faculty member before, and retains all of that. So we'll be able to focus on her a little bit. I want to thank the Academic Senate as well for their participation in this semester. I think it's going to be critical for us as we emerge from the pandemic, and I'm structuring a new language, you all. It's really igniting the student vision for the value of college education. I spoke with the chancellor personally on this, and I wanted to try it out a little bit, and it's interesting. I think that the value of a college education has really come under fire, especially during this pandemic. And I think people are now starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm excited about our leadership and excited about where Napa Valley College is going. So with that, I'm expecting and in some ways creating the momentum that I believe will be a very successful second semester. And welcome to our new trustee, who you get to see literally everything in is, from ground zero. And I think you're wonderful, and going to never replace a Rosada Segura, but you're going to be a new voice and an exciting voice for our board. With that, I want to step to the vice presidents and start with Oscar Guajardo to see what he has to share tonight.
Well, thank you, Dr. Kraft. Thank you. Actually, I don't have much to share, but I did want to take a few moments here to first and foremost to bid a healthy farewell to Trustee Segura and thank you for workmanship over the last 4 years, and also wanted to ask her if she could take me with her to Italy. The other thing that I want to do is I also want to welcome the incoming trustee De Luna, and want to extend any information, any help that I can provide you with in making your tenure at Napa Valley College as a trustee as informative as possible. Bienvenida.
Thank you.
Thank you, Oscar. Had to unmute myself here a little bit. Charles, do you have something for the good of the order tonight?
Not for this evening, but I too would like once again to welcome Trustee De Luna to Napa Valley College, and I look forward to working with you. And to echo Oscar's words, if you need anything from myself or my staff in Human Resources, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you. We'll follow up with Sarah and then finish off with Bob Parker.
Yes, well, it can't be said enough. I echo what my colleagues have just said here. Welcome to our newest trustee and returning trustees, and thank you, Trustee Segura, for your contributions to the board and to the college. However, for my portion of tonight's cabinet reports, I've actually asked Senior Dean Bob Harris to provide all of you with an update on our athletic teams and our decision that is consistent with the decision of other colleges in our conference to opt out of competition for fall sports while continuing to offer conditioning as we are allowed.
Thank you, Dr. Parker. Dr. Parker, excuse me. To bring everybody up to speed and just to give a brief history where we're at and how we got to where we are today. Back in March, we all know the pandemic began, so to speak, and the California Community College Athletic Association, our governing body, the CCCAA, ceased all participation of spring sports back then. So most of that was baseball, softball, track, things like that. All competition was halted. As the pandemic went on, and through the summer and into the fall, the CCCAA developed what they called a COVID work group, made up of presidents of institutions, athletic directors, and key leaders in athletics in the state. And their goal and task was to develop contingency plans for possible reopening and reparticipation of schools and student athletes across the state as the pandemic hopefully began to ease a bit. What they developed, the one that was adopted by the CCCAA board, was what was called a contingency plan, which effectively moved all of the fall sports that we would know here at Napa Valley College, at men's and women's soccer, volleyball, women's golf, and then ultimately basketball, the two basketball teams, move them to the spring, what we call the early spring season, with reduced numbers of games and reduced championships. They also had hoped to have what we would call the normal spring sports in a late spring configuration that would actually take all those spring sports into early June for completion. Throughout the fall, I've been involved in weekly meetings with a multitude of folks planning and how we're going to continue on this road. And about a month and a half, 2 months ago, give or take, the COVID work group, as well as the CCCAA leadership, put into place with a deadline of December 18th, which is tomorrow, for an opt-in or opt-out, whether an institution would participate in what we call the early spring sports, which are our traditional fall sports. Well, as we've all seen the state increase as the healthcare professionals predicted it would, people are opting out of participating in sports, as did Napa Valley College for the early spring sports. And why did we opt out? Well, there's too many variables that are not controllable in this, and health and safety of student athletes, staff, etc., are paramount. Testing, there is no clear testing policy that's been established. Let alone the cost involved in testing, the logistics of transporting tests back and forth, and the safety of doing so, and then just too many variables. So after much discussion, Athletic Director Jerry Dunlap, myself, Dr. Parker, and many other folks, and the COVID group on our campus with Nancy Tamris, our student health director, and Amber Wade and Matt, decided it was as much as we want to try to participate for our student athletes to have opportunities, it just wouldn't be prudent to do so. So we, along with 9 of the 10 colleges in our athletic conference, have opted out of the season for the spring sports, or the early spring. We don't know what's going to happen, obviously, for the late spring sports. There are multiple issues that have come into play, and again, testing is paramount, but what's happening also is that as schools, in my opinion, opt out, the schools that do not opt out will have really nobody to participate against. So there's plans going on and trying to adjust as the vaccine may hopefully begins to have positive effects throughout the nation. Whether or not we have any participation in intercollegiate athletics against other colleges is really up in the air right now. But basically, our men's and women's soccer, women's golf, women's volleyball, men's basketball, and women's basketball teams have basically that there will be no competition for them in any way, shape, or form as of today. Our one sport we have possibility in late spring would be baseball, but there's just, again, on December 17th, there's too many variables that it was in the best interest of all concerned to make that decision. Athletic Director Jerry Dunlap has been in constant communication with the coaches and the student athletes to keep them appraised of where things are going. And as difficult as it is, it's something we needed to do. So that's a brief chronology. This discussion could go on for hours back and forth in terms of all the feedback that we've received statewide. But I'd like to entertain any questions, if I can answer anything for anybody before then. Trustee Dodd?
Thanks, Bob. I'm sorry, but I agree, with your thought process there. Just a question in terms of baseball. When do you think the date is in terms of a go, no go for baseball would be if you were gonna?
Well, okay. So right now there is a date that has been established as February 26th for a go, no go for the CCCAA. The one thing that is about baseball, though, it's outdoors, so that's a positive. Baseball is deemed a low contact sport, so that's a positive. But it really is going to come down to what the protocols and standards are for intercollegiate athletic participation. We've all seen what's happening at the highest levels with the football and Pac-12, all that. I mean, it's volatile at best during this time. So, but February 26th is a date that has been put out there as a opt-in, opt-out.
Thank you.
I suspect, however, depending on how it plays out, that might be a bit fluid if the corner begins to turn a positive rate in a couple of months or so. But we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, completely understand. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is a really hard thing for our athletes. I've got 2 dancers in my house who have had to cancel performances and are doing Zoom classes, and it's just not the same. And especially when you're at the academic level and it's something that you're perhaps pursuing as a life career, it's very hard. But be safe.
Exactly, and I would be remiss if I did not make note of and I said this in a previous meeting, the Herculean efforts that our faculty at all levels have done to transition to online and create opportunities for students that in a moment's notice. So that goes for everybody. I mean, it's not easy, and it's been a while since I've been in the classroom, and I did some online, but what has been done is phenomenal. So very pleased with what has happened, but it's heartbreaking, but it's heartbreaking for everybody.
Mr. Harris, if I may ask, so what I've seen on the financials, then that's staff that is engaged in conditioning. Is that correct for those spring sports that may or may not occur?
Yeah.
Very good.
And so they continue with classes, but we don't have the intercollegiate class where they would go and play Los Medanos College or Mendocino College or things like that. But they continue on. Yes, that's correct.
Yes, fully engaged and retained. Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions? Dr. Kraft?
Sarah, do you have more, or is that your report this evening?
That's my report for this evening. Thanks, Bob.
Okay, Bob, please.
Yes, thank you. So I'd also like to welcome Trustee DeLuna. Look forward to working with you and letting you know a little more about the administrative services area here at the college. And to also thank Trustee Segura. I've enjoyed working with you on the board, and as a member of the Audit and Finance Committee, I'm going to miss you at the Audit and Finance Committee meeting. So thank you. Just two very quick items. At the November board meeting, I reported that we had started an arrangement with the Napa County Office of Education to offer childcare here on campus. They are offering the childcare here on campus. We're providing the facility for them in the 1600 building. And it had just started the week of our November board meeting, but they are currently serving 27 students in a program that serves kindergarten through 5th grade. The students are provided with breakfast, lunch, and a large afternoon snack. I'm going to have to stop over there in the afternoon to see what that large afternoon snack is. And the students are able to socialize, create arts and crafts projects, and play games in their classrooms and during their recess period. And so it's a great program, and they said we deeply appreciate the support of Napa Valley College in this program. The only other thing I wanted to report, if you happen to be on campus, you will see that we have contractors working on hardscape improvements on the mall area. So smoothing out some of the rough edges that exist on the mall area and fixing some of the hardscape issues. So a little bit of activity on campus for that as well. And that's my report.
Thank you, Bob. And I think, let me look real fast. Can you scroll down there, Catherine, to make sure that I haven't missed anything? I think that I am just fine. Thank you so much. Then we are done. Vice President Baldini.
Thank you very much. Moving to the consent calendar. This is in its entirety, item 10.1 to 10.7. This is an action item. I'll need a motion and a second. If anyone, prior to jumping into any one of these items.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
I will.
It's been moved by Trustee Baker and seconded by Trustee Goff. Any discussion? Hearing none. Well, Jennifer Baker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Inez de Luna, how do you vote? And the exception would be the minutes of the last meeting. But
That's everything else.
yes, Trustee Jeff Dodd,
Aye.
Trustee Goff,
Aye.
Trustee Iverson,
Aye.
and family, aye. Trustee Rios,
Sorry.
Aye.
Trustee Scholl,
Aye.
and Baldini is out. Trustee Baldini, aye. Thank you very much. That moves to item 11.1, curriculum changes. This is also a action item, so require a motion and a second, and then we'll be able to ask questions.
Move for approval. Iverson.
And a second. So, Trustee Iverson, you're a second. Motion made by Trustee Rios. Trustee Baker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee DeLuna?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd?
Aye.
Trustee Goff?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson?
Aye.
Trustee Rios,
Aye.
and Trustee Shaw.
Aye.
Trustee Baldini passes unanimously. Any discussion on the 12.2 Humboldt State University sponsored programs? This is an action item. I'll need a motion and a second.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Trustee Baker and seconded by Trustee Goff. Trustee Baker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee DeLuna?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd?
Aye.
Trustee Goff?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson?
Aye.
Trustee Rios?
Aye.
And Trustee Shaw?
Aye.
And Trustee Baldini is aye. And just for all of us, and especially Trustee DeLuna, motion and a second. You have any questions? That would be the time, and then we typically vote. So don't let me dissuade you from commenting with my rapidity of the meeting.
Thank you.
So we are on 12.1. Resolution 20.19, adopting a mitigative negative declaration initial study and mitigation monitoring and reporting program pursuant to the California Environmental Quality Act for and improving the student housing project. Did I jump over something? No, okay.
No, you're good, Trustee Baldini, and it looks like we have public comment.
All right, very good. Well, let's get a motion and a second.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
Iverson, second.
Iverson is a second. So Trustee Rios made the motion, seconded by Iverson.
A motion.
I'll take the public. Yes.
So we're making a motion before public comment?
We're moving it before you have comment. Yes. We haven't voted on it, Trustee Dodd, but we're moving it to open up discussion. You have to have a first and a second to have discussion. So may we have public comment?
Board and President Kraft, my name is John Dalrymple. I'm speaking for the almost 500 families in Napa who are members of what's called the Mechanical Craft Union. So these electricians, plumbers, sheet metal workers, and sprinkler fitters. Several weeks ago, this developer contacted me, and we were very excited. He stated that he wanted to explore having an agreement with us to have local contractors help build this project. And that meant that, the some 1,800 students that are part of our joint apprenticeship programs would have an opportunity, many of them who live in Napa, would have an opportunity to help build this project and fulfill some of their obligations under their training programs. This is one of the ways, the pathways into the middle class that ex-offenders, veterans, at-risk workers, just similar to you, our mission is similar to the college districts and to create opportunity, particularly for those workers who may be challenged in these times. But that fell apart when we did do some outreach to the board, and they blamed us for having this initial approval postponed for a couple of weeks and said they would no longer consider having an agreement with us, which should be some concern to you. They're bringing in a general contractor from outside the region who has no relationship with the local contractors. Though it's under prevailing wages, that does not mean that a single apprentice, a single young person who is trying to better themselves from your county will help build this project. It doesn't guarantee that. It doesn't guarantee any local workers will be helping build this project. And that's a loss. That's a loss in many, many ways. It's a loss of several millions of dollars in construction wages not being spent in your community. But in particular, it's a loss to an educational institution, which is us. It means that young apprentices, or in some cases, a little bit older apprentices, will not have an opportunity to necessarily to work here, which means we have less ability to open up more slots into our apprenticeship programs, which are totally dependent on estimated future hours. So we understand that there's limits of what you could do tonight about this. What you can do tonight is to encourage the developer to re-engage with us, to reach an agreement to have local contractors build a project. We have sent you a study that was based largely on the College of Marin's experience that said projects built under an agreement end up being less expensive and provide greater community benefits to the region. That would be true for this project or not. We think this is compelling public policy. And so we hope that you use your moral authority and the authority of the fact that you actually, this is a developer who wants to build projects like this with other community college districts. And frankly, we don't think they should unless they're willing to engage with those local construction trades in the area. So we hope that you help them see the light and do the right thing and re-engage with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Any other members of the public who wish to make a comment on item 13? Item 13.1, 12.1, excuse me.
I do believe we have another. Okay.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Trustees. My name is Tristan Ebenez, and I do appreciate being able to speak to you tonight. I am a Napa County resident, and I do have a few friends that went to Napa College. I am also a student, but I am in a different kind of school. I am enrolled in the State of California Approved Apprenticeship Program through the Sheet Metal Workers Local 104. During each year of my 5-year program, I have 6 weeks of classroom instruction that correlates with on-the-job training on construction sites throughout Napa County and all over this great state of California. My apprenticeship program is administered by both the Sheet Metal Workers Union and an Employers Association. I am really excited that you're going to have some housing for students built here, and I think it's really great that you're going to do so. I want others in my community to have the opportunity that I've had. I currently have a 3-year-old son and another child on the way. And the career that I've chosen offers me the opportunity to provide for my family with great area standard wages with benefits, regardless if I work on a public construction site job or a private job. My father did everything that he could to provide for my sister and I couldn't think of a better way to honor him while also giving my own growing family what they deserve. My father was also a local 104 sheet metal worker, making me a second-generation sheet metal worker. I've worked for several local union North Bay contractors, and being in the union trade has been life-changing for me, not only with the amazing wages and incredible benefits, but also with how much the union truly prides itself on making sure apprentices like me get the proper training and set of skills required to produce truly quality work. That opportunity is created when local contractors are hired who use apprentices like me to make sure that the work gets done right the first time. The more work hours for apprentices, the more young people like me the trades can take in. I would love to be able to have the chance to be a part of this, a part of building this housing for students. That is not going to happen if the project developer does not make it a priority to work with the local trade unions. As union workers, we are trained to do our job to perfection and be proud of what we made, not just show up to get a check and never look back. We happen to like to tell stories about the projects that we've been a part of and share these stories with other trade members. It makes us more of a family rather than just coworkers. I would greatly appreciate whatever help the district can do to support the local training programs by having local union contractors on this project. Thank you for your time and happy holidays.
Thank you very much. Catherine?
Yes, I see no more public comment.
All right, let's hear from Mr. Parker and his team. And
yes, thank you. So this is what's before you tonight. This resolution tonight is one further step in the process toward as we move toward having student housing on campus. At last January's meeting, you approved the moving forward to the second phase of the pre-development agreement with our developer. And what's happening tonight, this approval of the CEQA adopting the mitigated negative declaration, it's just another step along the process. And just as a reminder, the reason that we moved forward and went down the road of student housing was most importantly to provide affordable and quality on-campus living experiences for our students, to enhance campus engagement, support recruitment and retention of students, and extend our integration with the community. And so this moves us forward on all of those things. And this action tonight indicates that we are taking a fairly important step on Monday. We're filing the plans for the student housing project with the Division of State Architects, and that's outlined in this resolution. And so I want to turn this over to Attorney Erin Stagg from School and College Legal Services, who will provide a little more information about, actually a lot more information about what this resolution means and what this action that's happening tonight means for the project itself.
Thank you. Good evening, trustees, the community. I'm going to give a brief overview of CEQA. I know that many of us may be somewhat familiar with it, but it's good to reorient to the policy goals, why we are moving forward at this point in time with approving the submittal of the plans to DSA. I will then give an opportunity for Brian from GHD to speak to the process that was followed, the initial study, and the mitigated negative declaration that have been prepared for your consideration for adoption. So briefly, CEQA, for those who are watching at home or have not spent as much time in the world of acronyms, is the California Environmental Quality Act. It requires public agencies and local governments to measure the environmental impacts of development projects in order to limit or avoid environmental impacts when possible. Oftentimes we think of CEQA in terms of a private applicant submitting to, say, for example, the Planning Commission or a city council. It also requires that local agencies, in this case, a community college district, study the impacts of projects that it will be undertaking as well, such as the student housing project. The policy behind it, it's really grounded, the way that the statutes speak to is proceeding in good faith to obtain all relevant information, circulate it publicly, and then consider that information before taking an action to move the project forward. The precise time for CEQA compliance, it's a balancing act. That they talk about balancing competing factors, because the importance of having the information to inform the decision-making process and the design, as well as not being so late that we didn't have a chance to meaningfully consider the information for an environmental assessment. So as Bob mentioned, on Monday, we anticipate plans being submitted to DSA, the Division of the State Architect. Because this is a building that will be occupied by pupils under the Ed Code, it is required to be approved. The plans are required to be approved by the Division of the State Architect, reviewed and approved. And to reach that point of submission, the plans have to be largely complete. The language on the DSA site is completely, all the plans must be complete, all of the information provided so that they may review them, finalized, completely detailed. And as this project is ready to be submitted, gave the project designers the opportunity to consider the environmental impacts as well as determine and build some mitigation measures into the design. I'm going to turn it over right now to Brian. He's Brian Bacciarini from GHD. He worked to, he's the environmental consultant who was instrumental in assisting with the initial study preparation and making sure that the board is able to review the environmental documents that have been provided, make the decisions, in other words, to adopt the mitigated negative declaration as well as the reporting program, mitigation monitoring and reporting program, and approve moving the project forward, submitting the plans to DSA.
Perfect. Thank you, Erin. And good evening, Board of Trustee members. Happy holidays to you all. Thank you, Catherine. So let me please just tell you a bit about the CEQA process that was undertaken for this project. It started with an initial study. Initial study is a document that evaluates 21 different environmental topics. It goes from A for aesthetics to W for wildfire. And for this particular project, we had several specialty studies that we conducted. They included transportation, noise, air quality, biological resources, and cultural resources. And through that process, we're working very closely with college staff to identify mitigation measures to reduce environmental impacts, if there are any, to a less than significant level. So CEQA requires a public review, as Erin just mentioned. So the 30-day public review period for this project occurred between August 17th and September 15th of this year. We filed all the notices in accordance with CEQA. That was a notice in the Napa Valley Register. We had the notice with the county clerk, with the responsible and trustee agencies, with interested parties, and the state clearinghouse. And the initial study, the document itself has to be sent to the state clearinghouse, and it was. And the college also made it available electronically online on its project webpage, and links to that were provided in all of the notices. So comments, the college received 6 comment letters during that 30-day review period. The agencies are listed there. Caltrans, CDFW is California Department of Fish and Wildlife. NSD is the Napa Sanitation District. Gasser Foundation, City of Napa, and finally NVTA is the Napa Valley Transportation Authority. We worked really closely with the college staff to develop written responses to each of the comments that were received. That document was circulated. It's available online. It's attached to the agenda item for this. None of the comments resulted in any new environmental impacts or the need for new mitigation measures, and there was no need to recirculate the document. So we put all of the mitigation measures into the mitigation monitoring and reporting program that Erin called out. This is a required document. It's designed to ensure compliance with project changes and the mitigation measures that are identified in the initial study. And this is kind of a living document. It kind of goes with the project as it progresses. It makes sure that the mitigation measures are implemented and tracked throughout the life of the project. So in conclusion, after going through the process and getting all the comments, the determination was that there are no significant unavoidable environmental impacts that were identified. All impacts were reduced to less than significant. And that points in the direction of consideration of a mitigated negative declaration as the appropriate CEQA document for the project. And I believe Erin's going to tell you a little bit more about that process. Back to you, Erin.
Yes, thank you, Brian. I believe that we have a copy of the resolution. I largely will be available to walk the trustees through the recitals to what will be what the resolution is asking the board to do, what adopting it would do. It is a finding that the project is, that the college is the lead agency. It is our project. We're the lead agency. That the initial study and mitigated negative declaration went through the process. We complied with all of the required posting, the noticing, the comments, that it considered the required environmental factors that are to be included for the CEQA guidelines and requirements, that the mitigation monitoring and reporting program will be implemented so that the mitigation measures will be incorporated, as well as approving, directing staff and administration to move forward and submit the plans to DSA. I am available if there are specific questions about the resolution, if there are questions to Brian, or I did not have anything else to add, but we'll of course be here to answer questions.
Any questions?
I do
Yes,
have
go
a
ahead.
quick question, actually. Just in with regard to our two public comments, is there anything in this resolution that would either preclude or lock us into something where we would not be able to direct the developer or to set a priority of working with specific labor groups?
This resolution is specific to the CEQA project. It does also approve the project because the design is complete enough to be submitted to DSA. So the environmental impacts will not be, there will not be changes to the project design that would change the environmental determinations that have been made. There is nothing in this resolution specific to labor groups. This is dealing with CEQA and project approval.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, we have one more time. Any questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
in case they get sick or something, in case they suffer. Right.
So I have a motion by Trustee Rios and a second by Trustee Iverson. Are you ready to vote? Trustee Baker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee DeLuna?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd?
I need to recuse myself again just for the record, and I don't think there's any connection here, just it's the CEQA document, but want to make clear that my law firm, the Martin Group, the developer for the project, is a client of my law firm. While I don't do any work for the Martin Group, I am just out of abundance of caution, I am going to recuse myself from the vote.
Thank you for your disclosure. Trustee Goff?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson?
Aye.
Trustee Rios?
Aye.
Trustee Scholl?
Aye.
Trustee Baldini? Yes. It passes unanimously with those that voted, with recusal from Trustee Dodd for reason. Thank you very much. So in closed session, I reported out as 13.2 with the renumbering. That is 12.2. So that is pulled. So moving to 13.1 as renumbered. So we have this a public hearing for the Napa Valley College Union of Classified Professionals initial proposal for reopeners. So as there's a public hearing, I shall open the public hearing. And is there any comments from the public? Catherine?
No, I see no public comment.
Seeing no comment and hearing no comment, I close the public hearing and move to 13.2. Napa Valley Community College District initial proposal for negotiations with the Napa Valley College Union of Classified Professionals for the contract period beginning July 1, 2021. As there's a hearing, I shall open the hearing and request public comment. Catherine, is there any public comment?
I see no public comment.
Seeing no public comment or hearing any public comment, I now close the public hearing and we'll move to item 14. 14.1. This is an action item. Acceptance of the Napa Valley College Union of Classified Professionals initial proposal for reopeners. May I have a motion, please?
Move for approval. Trustee Iverson.
Second, Trustee Dodd. Sorry.
That's okay.
Been moved and properly seconded. Jennifer Baker, how do you vote? Trustee Baker?
Aye.
Trustee DeLuna?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd?
Aye.
Trustee Goff?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson?
Aye.
Trustee Rios?
Aye.
Trustee Shaw?
Aye.
Trustee Baldini? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to 14.2, approval of Napa Valley Community College District initial proposal for negotiations with the Napa Valley College Union of Classified Professionals for the contract period beginning July 1st, 2021. Again, a motion and a second, please.
Move approval.
Second, Trustee Iverson.
And maker of the motion was Trustee Dodd, is that correct?
Rios.
Rios, excuse me. Any discussion? Hearing none. Trustee Baker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee DeLuna?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd?
Aye.
Trustee Goff?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson?
Aye.
Trustee Rios?
Aye.
Trustee Shaw?
Aye.
Trustee Baldini? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving to 15.1. And this is the Clary report that I believe all of us received. But Police Chief Amber Wade, are you on?
Yes. Hello, board and all. So I am here to present the annual Clery report, but let me first do a quick warm welcome to Trustee DeLuna. We are happy to have you. And thank you, Trustee Segura. You will definitely be missed. So for those of you that are not aware, the Clery Act came about when a college student, Jean Cleary, was raped and murdered while living in her residence hall. So her parents, upon further investigation, realized how high the crime rates were at this particular university, and really thought that they would not have allowed her to go to this university if they were aware of the crime statistics. So the Clery Act came about in the early 1990s, and that includes our annual security report, which is hopefully Catherine will bring up here. And it also includes some other things like timely warnings and crime logs, that sort of thing. So this is our annual security report. It's based on a yearly, so it's January to December, and you will see our last 3 years. So what you're seeing here are the crime statistics for 2019. And part of our Clery report, there's all kinds of things in there, such as reporting procedures, security information, and resources we offer here at the college. Catherine, if you would scroll down to page 16, this is usually where people want to see. You'll see our crime statistics for the past 3 years. They're broken up into 3 categories. So we have the actual campus, which is Napa Valley College, and then at the bottom you'll see Upper Valley campus as well. And then we have non-campus centers. Those are the areas like American Canyon where we have classrooms, but it's not actually on our property. And then the public property. So for Napa Valley College here, it would be like Kennedy Park. You can see our numbers are fairly low. No area is crime-free. In fact, when I present to incoming freshmen and when they're picking their universities, I tell them, make sure you look at that Clery report, and if it's all zeros, there's an issue there, because there's no place that's completely crime-free. So there's nothing really super concerning about this past year or any big surprises that happened on our campus. These are fairly usual for community college, simply because we don't have the big time things like on-campus housing, big sororities, large athletics, that type of thing. Those usually bring a little higher statistics. And I believe that's all, unless anyone has any questions. Just a reminder too, we have this posted year-round on our website. It is available, and it has already been sent out via NVC Safe. So hopefully you all got notifications and emails about it as well.
I just wanted to thank Chief Wade for all of our work, and thank you for the report. And I'm glad that we live in a pretty safe environment aside from COVID.
Thank you, Trustee Iverson. Thank you, Board.
I had a question. I want to ask, you just mentioned, we don't have some of the usual things we see on university campuses, like student housing. That's coming. Are you and your department looking ahead to develop some sort of proactive plan for stay low when we have on-campus housing?
Oh,
is that
absolutely.
Part of the plan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is kind of exciting because we're going to have a group on campus where we can do a lot of our training. So we offer many crime prevention classes, and it's difficult to get that advertising out. And so our numbers aren't particularly high in those. So we will work with a managing group for the student housing and present training. There's a lot of requirements, but we'll definitely go above and beyond.
Great. Thank you. I don't expect anything less from you, just working with you for the past couple of years. So thank you very much. I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
I would also like to just quickly thank Oscar for his leadership in this area. And Amber, you do a wonderful job. In addition to health and safety, you lead the college in so many ways. Leadership Academy, training people, and I think the essence of what we've talked about is being very proactive, very transparent, and I think people not only appreciate, but really understand how lucky we are to have a high quality, responsive police chief and department. So kudos to all your folks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And moving to 15.2, this came from the consent and is an action item. I will need a motion and a second, and then we could like to hear about it.
I'll move approval.
Jennifer Baker, Trustee Baker. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Trustee Goff. Let's we have an explanation on this, and certainly.
Thank you very much.
That's great.
Thank you. The student affairs team has always been very supportive of hearing the student's voice, making certain that whenever it's appropriate that the student voice is included. And I, for one, have always preached that as administrators and as staff, we sometimes believe that we know what a student needs and wants, and I am of the conviction that half the time we're correct and half the time we're wrong. So as a result of our ideas and our desires to hear the student voice, this particular project, this particular contract that you have here before you is another effort at obtaining that student voice. And in particular, in this case, we are wanting to hear other student demographics of the college in terms of what their needs are, in terms of how they're experiencing this COVID situation, in terms of what mental wellness services they may be in need of. And we have contracted with this group to assist us with that. We have four student demographics that we have focus groups for. Again, these are groups, the Latinx population, which primarily is ESL group. We have our Asian Filipino group, which is a group that I have always said needs these have a bit more attention than we've given it over the last years. And so this opportunity for this focus group of that particular student demographic allows us to, again, hear their particular voice. We will also have a focus group on the LGBTQ student population. I thought that it would be a great idea to include the disadvantaged white population, and in particular our foster youth. So these 4 groups, in addition to others that we've done, you may recall that that this particular agency out of CSU San Diego, who conducted surveys approximately 2 years ago of our staff and our faculty, but also more recently, they had conducted a focus group and several groups of our African American Black students to learn again how the sense of belonging at Napa College was or is, how they're adapting to the college, and again trying to sort out and try to learn more of what their needs are through listening to their voices. And so in this case, again, that is that's a purpose of this contract, is to engage SEAL, the Community College Equity Assessment Lab, with this four focus group plan. And the idea is that the information that's gathered from these groups, from these 4 focus groups, will be introduced and will be shared at the Spring Flex Day for the campus. And again, that's the gist of what we have here. We will continue to conduct surveys, focus groups of our students throughout the next years, because again, we believe it's very important that the student voice is incorporated into the decisions and incorporated into the needs that they have, and that it's not overlooked.
Oscar, thank you so much. I need to confess that I asked him if he could just give a little background on this. Just, I thought this was such a really smart and thoughtful program being presented by Student Affairs, and that it just, I think, really represents from Oscar at the top all the way down, just the values there of communication with students, open doors, inclusivity, making sure that everyone is heard. And I think it's just a fantastic program, and I think Student Affairs should be commended for being so thoughtful in terms of approach this, especially in the time, in the 2020, the year that we are coming off of shortly. So thank you, Oscar, and the rest of the team.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments, questions? And we have a motion made by Trustee Baker and seconded by Goff. Jennifer Baker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee DeLuna?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd?
Aye.
Trustee Goff?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson?
Aye.
Trustee Rios?
Aye.
Trustee Shaw?
Aye.
Trustee Baldini is aye. It carries. Thank you very much. And thank you again, Oscar, for your leadership. So moving to 16, 1, 2, and 3, presented by Senior Dean Robin Warnell. If you could take us through, Dr. Warnell, we appreciate it.
Happy to do so. So good evening, board. And I too want to welcome Trustee DeLuna and bid a fond farewell to Trustee Segura, although that sounds so final, but I hope it isn't the last time that our paths cross. So thank you for your service. Each year, the Office of Research Planning and Institutional Effectiveness, which we call WIPI, compiles an annual progress report tracking accomplishments associated with the institutional strategic plan. So I am here to present the 2019-2020 report, describe its purpose and structure, and provide a summary of highlights from last year. The annual progress report represents one document among a set of documents the NVC uses to monitor its annual performance relative to established goals. Another example of a regular annual report is the Core Indicators Report, which was shared with you back in October. Documents such as these help address accreditation standards associated with institutional effectiveness, including accreditation standard 4C8, which pertains to the governing board. And standard 4C8 states, quote, to ensure the institution is accomplishing its goals for student success, the governing board regularly reviews key indicators of student learning and achievement and institutional plans for improving academic quality, end quote. The annual progress report represents an effective institutional practice of reporting out accomplishments or closing the loop regarding our institutional goals and associated initiatives. The 2019-2020 progress report provides a sense of the substantive improvements that were made across the institution to promote the 5 institutional goals and improve student success last year. So just to remind you, NVC's 5 broad institutional goals include working with local educational partners to equip students with the skills and resources needed for college success, engaging NVC students while they are here to assist in their progress toward educational and job training goals, increasing student achievement, and that is the completion agenda, ensuring the fiscal stability of the college as it transitions to a community-supported district, and collaborating with community and civic partners. You might recall that a 6th goal was added in October of this year. Accomplishments associated with that goal, which focuses on equity, are not included in the 2019-2020 progress report, as that goal wasn't in place as of last year. So the 2019-2020 progress report is structured around the strategic initiatives, measurable objectives, and deliverables that are associated with the 5 broad institutional goals established for 2018 to 2021. Progress is reported in multiple formats for each goal. So first, accomplishments associated with specific initiatives are described in summary form. The summaries focus on activities that were new and unique to 2019-2020. The performance measures are then presented in the form of a report card with 2019-2020 performance reported alongside the 2017-2018 baseline measures. And as has been our practice in recent years, the report card includes color coding and shading to convey both the magnitude and direction of changes over the established baselines. And finally, any deliverables associated with the strategic initiatives are identified. So some of the highlights from 2019-2020 include increasing the number of joint internal-external support services for students, and that's associated with Goal 1. Enhancing academic support programs and student support services to meet student needs and increase student success, that's associated with Goal 2. Those improvements included expansion of services delivered in the remote or virtual environment and increasing communications to students through a variety of delivery modes. We improved facilities and instructional equipment to enhance opportunities for student engagement inside and outside of the classroom, again associated with Goal 2. We implemented strategies to facilitate student completion, particularly in the area of transfer, associated with Goal 3. We increased resources to support internship opportunities for students and employment among graduates, also associated with Goal 3. We increased allocations to support funding priorities across the institution via last year's budget, that's associated with Goal 4. And we increased partnerships with community organizations in association with Goal 5. The annual progress report is reviewed each year by the Planning and Budget Committee. It's shared with the governing board and distributed among the campus community each year. This report was included on the agenda for the Planning and Budget Committee earlier this month, and it will be distributed among the campus community and posted on the RIPI website, RIPI portion of the college website when we return in early January. And that is the information I have for you.
Thank you very much. Any questions at this point? Very good. So moving on to the vision 2020.
Right. And Catherine, could I ask you to please open the attachment? Thank you. And just if you could scroll down to the first table, I'm going to allude to it at some point. So, okay. So vision for success metrics. So under the last agenda item, I mentioned a set of regular annual institutional reports. And this report is a new report, and it represents an addition to that set of annual reports, at least I would foresee for the next 2 years. So first, I want to provide a little bit of background or context for this. In 2017, the California Community College's Chancellor's Office introduced the Vision for Success and identified system-wide goals associated with 5 areas. And those 5 areas span completion, transfer, unit accumulation, workforce, and equity. In 2018, the Chancellor's Office communicated the expectation that campuses would identify local goals on a set of Vision for Success metrics selected by the institution. As part of that process, NVC reviewed recent performance data and engaged in discussions to determine options or areas of focus. And that occurred in 2019. The goals were approved by the Board of Trustees and incorporated as measurable objectives associated with our institutional strategic plan as required. NVC's performance on Vision for Success metrics has been reported in recent institutional reports such as the Annual Progress Report and the Educational Master Plan Update. However, the Vision for Success metrics might have been lost in those larger documents. So to help address that potential gap and bring the Vision for Success goal attainment to the forefront, I developed this report this year as an effort to update our practices and make sure that we are focused on goal attainment associated with the Vision for Success. So the report is structured around metrics that NVC selected and the goals that were established for 2021-2022. All of the goals were articulated as percentage increases or decreases between the baseline year and 2021-22. The Vision for Success metrics were introduced in 2018, and 2018-2019 is currently the most recent year of performance reported. As part of the 2018-2019 reporting process, the Chancellor's Office reran some of the data for the 2016-2017 baseline year, and that resulted in some adjustments to our baseline numbers. In most cases, the baseline performance decreased over the originally established baselines for NVC, but the units accumulated increased over the original baselines. So I'm going to refer to this table that Catherine has projected here a little bit. So what the tables in this report include are first, we identified the original baselines and the associated goals. So I'm going to walk through the first row, the goal that pertains to students attaining the vision goal completion definition. So as you can see at the top of the table, our locally established goal was to increase these metrics by 20%. So what we have in the first column with data is that 683 was the baseline performance when the Vision for Success was released. And so a 20% increase over that baseline is represented by 820 students. The next column contains the updated baselines and then associated goals. So the 791 identified as the goal in that column represents a 20% increase over the 659 baseline. The next two columns contain 2 years of performance data. And then finally, the final column has a comparison of the most recent performance against the updated baseline. And let's see. So the updated baseline, the updated goal is now 791. In 2018-2019, our performance was that 666 students attained the vision goal completion definition. So there's a gap of 125 students between the performance and the goal. And then what you have in parentheses, that 1% increase, is that while our goal was to increase by 21-22 to increase it by 20%, As of 2018-2019, we increased it by 1%, so 1 out of the 20% that we'd identified for ourselves. So as shown in this report, in the rest of the tables as well, NVC has achieved 2 Vision for Success goals that we established for 2020-2021, and those pertain to Chancellor's Office approved credit certificates, which is reported here in the final row of the table, and then also exiting CTE students who reported being employed in their field of study. We're also approaching the goal established for students earning associate degrees for transfer. As of 2018-2019, we were just 1 student away from achieving that goal. In terms of equity, we have achieved the goal associated with the Chancellor's Office approved certificate conferral among African American or Black students. We still have work to do with respect to the remaining 4 Vision for Success goals that we established for the institution and the remaining 3 or 4 goals associated with equity. And the reason that I have a range there that say 3 or 4 goals is because our population of LGBT students included less than 10 students in recent years. And as a result, the data for the 2 intervening years of performance data, the data are suppressed among small cohorts of students, and that's part of a standard research practice. The California Community College's Chancellor's Office communicated its expectations for integrating planning and resource allocation and what they termed coherence in goal setting and planning via a memo to the system in February 2019. And that memo conveys an expectation that the Vision for Success, guided pathways, student equity, and budgeting should all be linked. We have approximately a year and a half to work together to attain the institutional goals associated with the Vision for Success that we set out for ourselves. And this report is intended to keep those goals front and center by regularly monitoring and communicating about our institutional performance. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
I have a question. I'm just curious, since these are locally established goals, what kind of flexibility you can give yourself in terms of tweaking them a little bit? I'm thinking the thing that concerns me is when you got a 20% goal of going up, but you're looking at whole numbers when you're looking at how many kids are achieving certain things, and if enrollment dips, it's going to get harder and harder to continue to go up because you're looking at a higher percentage of your total that you have to achieve in order to get to that 20% of your baseline when the baseline is changing. And so I'm wondering if it might be possible to reword these where you say you're going to go up 20% of whatever the percent of the total number of students is, or in that group, or something like that, rather than looking at it as whole numbers. You need a statistician and a math person to figure that out. But it just seems like it would be more achievable if you've got something that is going to take into account that your base numbers are going to be changing, and particularly over the next couple of years, since we don't know how enrollment is going to be affected by the infection by the coronavirus. So just wanted to toss that out there, and I know this is like a multi-year thing. And so it might be something that you would look at when you were reestablishing new goals, but it might be even something to consider for the coming year.
Yeah, so the Chancellor's Office required that we set these goals, and they gave us the language to kind of fill in the blanks, if you will, and it was all very structured, and that did come to the board. I think it was in May of 2019. So it was, increase the the number of students earning a Chancellor's Office approved certificate by 20% from, and then that would have been, 334 to in 2016, 2017 to, the different number in 2021, 22. So the Chancellor's Office has not provided any updated, opportunity for flexibility and things like that. Again, I do want to emphasize we have already achieved a couple of the goals that we laid out, and we're on the cusp, at least, of and likely to achieve another one. When we have the discussions of setting the goals locally, some of the concerns that you identified were expressed among the groups that were involved in establishing those goals. But the idea, and like I said, mentioned the linkage there between guided pathways, student equity, vision for success, and the budget is that we're implementing changes that are designed to move the needle on these metrics. And certainly it's just like our students, we have to have goals in order to help move the needle forward and monitor our performance. And so it's difficult to achieve a goal if you don't have one front and center in your mind. So that's so the Chancellor's Office hasn't indicated any flexibility at this point, but certainly no one foresaw the pandemic, and that's something that's affecting the system as a whole. So.
Thank you very much, Dr. So accreditation, that's coming up.
Yes, it is. And for this one, I actually have a PowerPoint for you. So thank you, Catherine. You read my mind. Okay, so I'm going to provide an update on our comprehensive accreditation review process, which focuses on the development of our institutional self-evaluation report, which is, I guess, affectionately known by the acronym of ICER. So this update summarizes developments from fall 2020, as well as some next steps for January and February. From this point forward, you will be receiving regular updates on the ICER as it is developed. The one accomplishment from this semester was the appointment of the Faculty Accreditation Co-Chair. Jim McGowan was approved to serve in this important role by the Board of Trustees earlier this term. Jim was not available to attend the meeting this evening, and he asked me to convey his regrets to you this evening. And Jim and I will be providing future updates jointly as a team. But tonight, me flying solo. So Jim and I offered 2 training sessions on November 20th. The first was a general overview of the accreditation process. It was open to the campus community. I'm pleased to report that 73 people attended, including 3 trustees. So thank you, Trustees Baker, Dodd, and Rios. One of the positives of the current remote environment is that we are able to record large campus-wide meetings or trainings such as these so that folks who are unable to attend can access the information and get up to speed. And so in addition to the 73 people that attended live and in person via Zoom, I did share the link to the recording with an additional 11 people who requested it following the meeting. So we have very broad interest involving more than 80 people across the campus community. We also had a training specifically for writing team members immediately following that orientation session. 45 writing team members attended that session, and an additional 7 who were unable to attend requested the recording. That training included an activity to help teams begin interpreting the accreditation standards assigned to them and begin thinking about evidence that demonstrates how NVC meets each standard. So Catherine, if you could advance to the next one. Thank you. So Jim and I have been meeting weekly since September to coordinate on accreditation issues and focusing on the organization and development of the ICER. It's hard to imagine, but by this time next year, we will have completed the work on the ICER, and the submission deadline will be approaching, and that is anticipated in early January of 2022. So this slide outlines our plans for organizing the review process. We have formed 14 writing teams. We coordinated with faculty, classified staff, administrators, and students to identify writing team members and form the teams. The writing teams include 12 faculty, 15 classified staff, and I should highlight that there are at least 2 of them who also serve as adjunct faculty, 8 students, and 19 administrators, so that totals 54 writing team participants. We also have an accreditation steering committee, which includes constituent group leaders, the president of the college, as well as the VPs and the accreditation co-chairs. And we will be convening that group in early February. The development of our ICER, which will be written by our writing teams, is structured around 3 iterative drafts. The successive drafts will be updated based on evidence reflecting the current state of NVC as of 3 different snapshot dates. Each iterative draft will be reviewed by a different set of reviewers, starting with 2 reviewers, so that would be the accreditation co-chairs, Jim and me, and then expanding to include the whole accreditation steering committee, that will be for the 2nd draft, and finally the campus community for the 3rd draft. Dating back to May, when Dr. Stephanie Droker from the ACCJC provided training for both the campus community and the governing board, we have been coordinating our review process in the remote environment. So Jim has created a shell for us in Canvas, and each writing team has a module within Canvas to help organize their work. So as we move into the writing stage next semester, we will be exploring additional options or platforms for teams to share and store documents, including drafts of their sections of the ICER, as well as the associated evidence. For November through January, the writing teams are focused on interpreting their standards and gathering evidence associated with each one. If I may, I'd like to share a little bit about my own experience going through the process that Jim and I have laid out for the teams. This will be the 2nd time that NVC undergoes comprehensive review based on the current ACCJC standards, which were approved in 2014. I was part of 2 writing teams in 2015 when we piloted the 2014 standards, and I'm on the 2 teams assigned the same set of standards this time around. Each of my teams has met twice since the initial training, and each time we've met, the discussion has led to a deeper understanding of the standards for me as well as my fellow writing team members. As we have reviewed and interpreted each standard, we have identified the nuances between them and have started to develop a more concrete plan for how we intend to approach each one. Jim and I are on one team together, and that team met yesterday, and during our meeting, as we refined our interpretation of the standards, Jim and I shared the perspective that the discussion among our team has been invaluable. As a result of the work that's been done on the front end by our teams, I think we're in an even better position this time around than we were in 2015, and I anticipate that our ICER will be even more focused and directed. Looking forward to January and February, Jim and I have scheduled 2 additional trainings for our writing teams. One will focus on evidence and how to organize it. The other will focus on the writing process and the expectations or requirements for the ICER. As I mentioned earlier, we have our first accreditation steering committee meeting in early February. So all of those activities that are listed here will be completed by the time that Jim and I return to give another accreditation update in February. And that's all I have for you for now, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Thank you.
I just was wondering if I could see some of the recordings, I guess, that anything that you suggest would be good for me to get a little more on board with everything.
Yeah, I can, let's see, we didn't record, the board had a training back in May that I mentioned. Unfortunately, we didn't record that one, okay. But that was for the request, to encourage open conversation really was the purpose of that. But I'm happy to send you the accreditation orientation session. It gives the overview of the process. And okay. I'll send that to Catherine and then she can get that to you. Does that sound okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Warnell, for your work over the years. I certainly appreciate it. There's Dr. Kraft. Comments?
Yeah, no, thank you. I was just going to thank you, Robin. I mean, these are 3 important areas with a lot of depth. Accreditation is in good hands, and I'm especially excited about Trustee DeLuna reaching out because it is at the core of what we do. I feel as I share with you personally and collectively, I feel very good about our track for accreditation. We have well in hand with great participation from all aspects and sides of the college. So we'll provide some more personalized onboarding for you, and cover this as well as we go. Any other comments for Robin? Thank you, Robin, very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Moving to 17.1, waiver of first reading and adoption of Board Policy 4235, credit by examination, credit for prior learning, and Board Policy 4220, standards of scholarship. I understand Sarah Parker is with us, Assistant Superintendent.
Hi, good evening again. So I'm happy to give you a little bit of a background on this agenda item. As you can see, we are seeking to waive a first reading and approve this board policy so that we can be in compliance with a recent legislative mandate. That mandate is for us to have a board policy and procedures for credit for prior learning in place by December 31st. And I'd like to provide you with a definition of credit for prior learning and also the process that we followed at NVC to develop the process and the procedure. So credit for prior learning is college credit awarded for validated college level skills and knowledge that are acquired outside of a college classroom. These might be gained through experiences like military training, industry training, state or federal government training, volunteer and civic activities such as participation in the Peace Corps, or through apprenticeships, internships, work-based learning, or other industry-based experiential learning. It's not, CPL is not awarded for knowledge and skills that are already assessed and awarded credit through the formal education process. So as you are well aware, community colleges and students at community colleges come to us with all kinds of skills that they have gained through these experiences, and they hold industry credentials. They're graduates of public service academies. They were trained for various military occupations. And what credit for prior learning does is it enables students to get credit for what they already know, saving them time and money. And research shows that students who earn credit for prior learning are twice as likely to complete a degree than those who do not. They are able to accumulate credits more quickly to work towards their educational goals, and they save an average of 6 to 10 months in time to degree compared to those students who don't receive credit for prior learning. So in March of 2020, changes were made to Title V that required colleges to establish a policy and procedures to implement credit for prior learning. Then a guidance memo, toolkit, and implementation materials were provided to all community colleges in August of this year. So with the support of Cabinet, the Academic Senate on our campus approved a task force in September to get to work very quickly, specifically on credit for prior learning. The task force then met met regularly and extensively to get a first reading of both the BP and the AP presented to the Academic Senate by the end of October, and a second reading to the Academic Senate by December 8th. And they also engaged in an education effort around credit for prior learning across campus, which was really valuable. The BP and AP were mutually agreed upon last week. And I know that we are one of the few community colleges in our region, because I was on a meeting about this the other day, that has been able to successfully complete this work. And so I would like to sincerely thank the members of the task force for their commitment to getting this done, not only because of the mandate and the deadline, but because I think it's an important policy that respects our students' knowledge and experiences, and it opens new avenues for them to progress. I would also just add that in relation to what we just heard presented by Dr. Warnall, in concert with the guided pathways work on campus, with the Degrees When Due project that I talked about, I believe last month, these are all pieces that will help us achieve the goals that we have set as part of the Vision for Success. happy to answer let me stop there and answer any questions you might have.
Dr. Parker, when does this start? I understand it's been approved by Academic Senate. It's gone through all the channels. I mean, when it does start? And then I have a follow-up question. It's a very real hypothetical. A very good family friend of mine who is in the child care program. And now I think she's got basically all her credits except she needs to take the lab, which is during the day, and it conflicts with her work schedule because she is working in an in-home daycare on a daily basis. Now, would she be able to get those credits in order to avoid having to take the lab?
Well, no promises.
I'm not going to put you on the spot. Yeah, there you go.
This is a faculty-led process. So let me answer your first question first, is that presumably this would go into effect after it is approved by the Board of Trustees. We are ready to go with it. We have a form that's ready to be posted. We are ready to incorporate the policy into our catalog to make it available for students. And I received an email from my executive assistant earlier today saying, we have counselors wondering when can they make this announcement and available to students. So we really have put in the work to have this ready to go immediately upon approval. That said, there's still work that has to be done because when a student fills out a petition, that just initiates the process that makes them eligible. There's a variety of options through which a student could obtain credit for prior learning. If the AP is pages long, I think it's about a dozen pages long, and there are lots of different ways you can do it through an assessment. I have this in front of me here. You can do it
Dr. Parker,
portfolio, etc. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
I have a motion.
Motion to approve, Trustee Dodd.
Second.
Oh, Deluna.
Second by
Goff.
Very good. It's been moved and properly seconded. Trustee Baker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee DeLuna?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd?
Aye.
Trustee Goff?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson?
Aye.
Trustee Rios?
Aye.
Trustee Shaw?
Aye.
Trustee Baldini is an aye. Looks like you have an unanimous approval. Ms. Parker.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much. The next would be the board reports, and we'll just go quickly through this. And was there a DAS report, Trustee Baker?
Yeah, brief one. We met last week. I think it was last week. And we just went over quarterly financials, among other things, and got our report from our managing director about just kind of how, again, a lot of what DAS does right now is kind of on hiatus, so to speak, since so many of the things that they do are enterprise related, and there's no activities going on right now. So we talked about that. We talked about some changes to a couple of employee contracts that people that had previously been working for the district that are now going to become employees of DAS under contracts. So we reviewed kind of that process of moving those individuals to that new format and what that was going to mean. And hopefully the intent is to provide some incentive for them to really get out and market the opportunities that we have through those enterprise programs. So, but that's nothing's definite yet, just moving along.
Thank you very much. No Viticulture Winery Technology Foundation meeting, so we'll jump to Legislative Affairs Committee. Trustee Goff?
Yes, we are planning on meeting in February. I'm going to throw it over to Holly Dawson, who has the pulse on our state politics. So she's going to give us an update on what's happening in the legislature.
Thank you, Trustee Goff and Board of Trustees. I'm happy to give a very brief update. The state legislature reconvened earlier this month for its 2021-22 organizational session. During the session, leadership was, and for both houses, were formally nominated and voted on. And so Assemblyman Anthony Rendon remains Speaker of the Assembly, and Senator Tony Atkins remains Senate President Pro Tem. During the session, legislators had their first opportunity to introduce legislation for 2021. 178 bills were introduced, and the Chancellor's Office is currently tracking 27, and we work closely with the Chancellor's Office to look at which of those bills may have some potential effect on community colleges. We don't anticipate any additional bill introductions before January 4th, when the legislature will reconvene. And the deadline to introduce bills for the coming year is February 19th. Another reason why we're thinking we'll meet in February and have the opportunity to look at the current bills, and then meet again in March and continue on from there. One bill that the committee will consider when it convenes in February is SB 20, which is authored by our own Senator Bill Dodd, and it expands access to students who may be eligible for CalFresh benefits. Senator Dodd has really taken a leadership role in this area, and so we will look at that more closely. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Audit and Finance Committee, Trustee Baker.
No meeting since our last.
Good. Real Property Committee, Trustee Rios.
We've also not had a meeting.
Person Distinguished Teaching, Trustee Goff, the voting is probably closed, isn't it? Or is it still going on?
Actually, it hasn't even started. We will start that in spring. I expect that Dr. Sarah Parker and I together probably talk about it maybe February, maybe around then.
We have a initial memo drafted and ready to go when we get back from break.
Oh, that's exciting. So we'll have some more information hopefully soon. Thank you.
Okay. Napa Valley College Foundation Board of Directors, our representative, Trustee Iverson.
We haven't met, but a couple things to highlight. We've brought on Emily Booth on the staff to assist with marketing. I also wanted to give a shout out to Christopher Lemley, an instructor on campus that had recently an article in our Napa Valley College News Center. I don't know if you guys have read it, but if you haven't, I definitely would recommend it. It highlights his story and the closeness to the Napa College Foundation and what our scholarships have done. It's a great story. And then I wanted to just point out that just in the last 5 years, the foundation has given out over 600 scholarships in the amount of over $1 million. So a lot of good work. The goal is to have our new executive director, Jessica, come in and do a report, hopefully in January, to bring the rest of the board up to speed on what we've been working on. So look forward to that. Thank you.
So Trustee Iverson, with the end of the year coming up and tax benefits, is foundation still taking checks?
The foundation the foundation is always taking checks.
Checks, cash,
wires,
gifts in kind.
Absolutely. Can I mark you down?
Yes, you can. Yes, maybe I'll donate some wine or some gifts in kind or something like that. So, future agenda item requests. I think the list is complete except for one honorary degree, but
you missed 18.2.
18, did I? Oh, 18 trustee and board chair reports. I certainly did. So let's go with Trustee Shaw.
The ASNVC we set up and we're currently setting up. I think we're doing it this weekend. I'm not sure exactly what times. However, we're having a festive holiday drive-through in the parking lot at NVC, a Winter Wonderland drive-through event. And that's mainly what we've been working on. But other than that, nothing to report.
Thank you very much, sir. Trustee Rios.
No report.
Trustee Iverson.
Sorry, I was muted. No report. Thank you.
Trustee Goff.
No report.
Trustee Dodd.
No report as well.
Trustee DeLuna.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for your warm welcome, and maybe next time I'll be able to make a motion in second.
You got to be fast around here. We're like,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Welcome on board.
Be
Trustee
careful what you
Baker.
wish for. You may have to do it every time next meeting.
Crickets. Just a short thing, as Dr. Warnall already mentioned, I participated in the accreditation orientation. Another thing that I went to, I went to the town hall that was hosted by the Napa Community Foundation a couple weeks ago, and they had a dean from Harvard College who was talking about just kind of, the title of it was Reflections on Undergraduate Education During a Global Pandemic. And so, I think what I got out of it mostly was just that we're going to be reflecting for a long time. And this is not over yet even. And so it's kind of hard to even look back on it when you're still in the midst. But just in general, I think that my hope is that colleges of all sizes, whether it be Napa Valley College or Harvard and Yale and whatever, really have some future opportunity to talk about what we've learned from this process that was good, and what we can continue to use moving forward. Because I think we've definitely, we had to scramble, but we definitely have achieved a lot. And I don't think any of us at this point expect to go back to normal. That it's going to be different no matter where we land. But I think that even once things are kind of normalized, so to speak, that we'll still have gained quite a bit from this when we do have some peace and quiet and opportunity to really reflect. So hopefully that will be coming soon. That's all.
Thank you very much. Trustee Baldini, no report. So moving through, I did kind of a Hague, but it just take the next month or so until our next board meeting to think about where you'd like to be as far as committees and how you serve, and maybe explore some of these committees. And so let's turn the gavel over to Dr. Kraft for the annual organization of items. Dr. Kraft is the board secretary.
Sure. Thank you. We're now going to move into agenda item, and I think we are on 19.1 on the reordered. It's a nomination and election of board officers. We do this under Ed Code, section 72000, and our own board policy. We elect, which means really we need to elect our officers in this meeting in December. District has 2 officer positions. The first is president, second is vice president, both of whom take office as of January 1st. Before making nominations, there's an opportunity for public comment on the election of officers. After that, and I'll walk you through, trustees can ask questions or make comments. After that, there will be nominations for the office of president, followed by voting. And once the president is elected, then we move to vice president nominations, followed by that voting. State law and our own board policy allow any member to nominate a trustee for president with or without providing reasons for the nomination. Any trustee can nominate oneself. Any trustee, including the student trustee, may second a nomination. And when there are no more nominations that are seconded, there will be a motion to close nominations. So you can feel kind of the rigor of this process. The first nominee to receive a majority of votes, 4. So once we do those vote counts, the first one to receive 4 is the elected president. If no person receives a majority that on first ballot, then we keep going around. And the person with the least votes is eliminated. And then we will move on again and again until we finally end up with one nominee who will be declared president. Once a president is elected, the same process is used for vice president. So now I'm going to start the process as board secretary. Are there any members of the public who wish to comment on the election of board officers? And I don't know, Catherine, whether there's anybody out there that would like to do that.
I do not see any requests for comment, public comment.
Thank you. Second question, are there any members of the Board of Trustees who would like to offer general comments before nominations? All right.
Yeah, I will offer a general comment that I think tonight was a very good example of a nice transition. Just putting it out there.
Point well taken. Point well taken. Yes. Nominations for the office of president. So here we go. Nominations are now open to trustees for the office of president. Who wishes to be recognized to make a nomination for the office of president?
Secretary, I would nominate Jennifer Baker.
Okay, I'm recognizing. Okay, board member. I'm writing these down. Okay, Dodd is nominating Jennifer Baker. Who wishes to second that nomination?
I'll second.
Okay, Goff and Catherine, you're helping on this, I think. This is a process that we'll be going through for all of these. Do you, Jennifer, have any comments you'd like to make regarding your nomination? It's also an opportunity for any trustee in the process to either accept the nomination or decline the nomination.
I think we have a really good, strong, cohesive board right now. Of course, we have a brand new member, but she seems like she's really with it. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, I'd be very happy to have that opportunity. We've had some very difficult times in the last year, but I think we also have some exciting times ahead of us and a lot of important work to do as we hopefully move out of living with and coping with and responding to the pandemic and kind of get toward a recovery and rebuilding and hopefully even some innovation as we move forward into whatever our new normal is. So I'm also really excited about the momentum that we have right now in addressing equity and diversity and inclusivity. And I really want to make certain that enthusiasm doesn't wane. So we've got a lot. What was it, Ms. Bobby Harris said earlier, that flexibility and resiliency were the key. So hopefully we can build on that moving forward, all of us, and pull some creativity into that as well. So yeah, that would be a wonderful opportunity, and I'd be happy to take it on.
Thank you. Okay, Trustee Baker is nominated to be board president. Who wishes to be recognized to make another nomination?
I would like to nominate Michael Baldini.
Okay. Trustee Baldini. And Trustee Baldini, you have any comments, or you'd like to make a statement?
It would be an honor to serve. It'd be a pleasure and honor. Thank you.
Okay.
Dr. Kraft, can I make a comment?
You can. Let me. I'm trying to follow our. Is this regarding the process, Com?
Well, yes, in the process. I mean, regarding the fact that we do have an election and a nomination period, but that every trustee does have the opportunity to take on that role. That's just the comment, and I think that's a good thing. We do vote on it, so I think it's important that if a trustee wants to serve in the position, that we give everybody the opportunity.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And don't you need a second for Michael?
Yes.
Yeah, that was my next piece. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. I was
So, who wishes to second that nomination?
I'll second. Will Schull.
Thank you, Will. Okay, and you're quite right. I went out of order there, and now it would be Michael's comment, right? So
Michael's doing his max headroom thing again.
Trustee Baldini nominated. Who wishes to be? Anybody wish to be recognized to make another nomination? Okay. Seeing no further nominations for the office of president, is there a motion to close those nominations?
Motion to close.
Quick, Inez.
Excuse me, I just should have stopped.
No, Trustee Dahl got it again. Okay.
She seconded.
Oh, she did. Okay. So, based on that, please, nominations for president are now closed. Okay. So we are going to, now is the time to vote for the candidates. The election will be made, normally it's by raising hands. We can't, I think I've got everybody visually here. So we should be okay. So we'll just try raising hands. It's better if you don't put them out to the side because sometimes they disappear. So if you can keep them close to your body, that's good. A raised hand is a vote for that candidate, all right? Candidates will be voted on in the order that they were nominated. The first candidate who receives a majority, which means 4, will be elected president, okay? The following members are nominees. We have Trustee Baker and Trustee Baldini. All those in favor of Trustee Baker, please raise your hand at this time. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is a majority. So congratulations, Trustee Baker. You are the president of the board for next year.
Thank you.
It's as simple as that. So now we are going to do nominations are open for the office of vice president. Who wishes to be recognized to make a nomination for the office of vice president?
I do. Like to, okay. Boom, that buzzer.
I'm not sure. Well, that was quick. So it was either Trustee Baker or Trustee Baldini, but Catherine, did you get a read on that or no? No?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Okay. All right.
I arm wrestle, but I know I'd lose.
Okay. Trustee Baker, go ahead. Your nomination, please.
I would like to nominate Trustee Dodd to be vice chair.
Okay. And I need a second for who wishes to second that nomination?
Trustee Iverson will second the nomination of Dodd as vice chair.
Okay, thank you. And now, Trustee Dodd, do you have any comments you'd like to make regarding your nomination?
I'd be honored to accept the nomination and would work as hard as I can in serving the board in that regard.
Okay. Trustee Dodd is nominated to be vice president. Who wishes to be recognized to make another nomination?
Trustee Baldini would like to nominate Trustee Rios.
Okay. And who would like to second that nomination?
I would like to second that.
Okay. No, you got your second in a very timely, wonderful way.
2 seconds.
And Trustee Rios is nominated to be vice president. Do you have comments you'd like to make regarding the nomination?
Just simply that if elected, I will, of course, use my experience and knowledge to do everything I can to help the district move all of our plans and initiatives ahead for student success.
Thank you. Are there further nominations for VP? Okay. Seeing none, we're closing those nominations. So we have 2 trustees. The board will now proceed to the vote for candidates for the office. The election will be made by raising hands again. The first candidate who receives the majority vote will be elected, and we'll take them in order. The following members were nominated. We have Trustee Dodd and Trustee Rios. All those in favor of Trustee Dodd, please raise your hands at this time. I am looking at 4 raised hands, which is a board majority at this point. So congratulations, Trustee Dodd. You are the Vice President of the board for this time. So the board officers for 2021 are Jennifer Baker as President and Trustee Dodd as Vice President. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Good team.
And Mr. Vice Chair, Baldini, Vice President, you are, the gavel is back to you, sir.
Back to me. Thank you very much, and congratulations, Trustee Board Chair Baker, and congratulations to Trustee Jeff Dodd. Look forward to working with you next year. So any items that we need to continue in closed session?
Trustee Baldini, we are at 19.2 board meeting calendar.
19, oh, that's right. Excuse me.
Sorry.
It's our schedule for meetings next year. So Trustee Baker and Trustee Dodd have take a good look at it.
What is the first Tuesday in January is, what's that day? Is that the 5th? We're back on that 5th or whatever that is. Let me just shorthand this. I'll work with you. Jennifer, I'll work with you and Jeff on that first one because it'll be a very tight timeline because you take over on the 1st and we have a review just a couple days. So we'll have to lop over a little bit and bring you up to speed. Okay?
Not going anywhere.
Okay, and the
Same.
agenda items are due on the 18th, Catherine has down, but which is coming up soon.
It's tomorrow. So we have been receiving things, and I hope they've got it all in.
Yeah.
And January 5th would be our review.
Great. Jeff and Jennifer, I'm sending you a big packet you can study tonight for tomorrow's stuff.
Best. I'll be ready. Pulled many all-nighters in my old NVC days.
I think the only other, we scheduled in August, we just took a shot at this. I don't know your schedules yet, but late August as a Saturday special meeting for a board self-eval. I was thinking several of you were on the board when we did an all-day meeting dedicated to the board, really analyzing and looking at some of the things that Dr. Warnall talked through tonight, and really getting a grip. I think it's going to be really critical for the board to have what I'm going to call at least at most of a full day of a board retreat. And I'm praying we are post-pandemic and returning in the fall, but at the very least, we'll be planning the future of the college. So you'll see that down there. So you might check this early, your vacation plans, unless you've already bought those tickets, and then you can let us know, and we'll amend it. And I can't see. Let's see the last one. Wednesday, November 11th. I see.
Veterans Day.
Right.
Yeah, so Thursday is a holiday. We moved it to the Wednesday.
And let's back up to February in deference to Trustee Baldini. Okay, it's not the 14th. Michael, we're good.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
How about good October? So this is a action item, so we'll need a motion and a second, please.
I'll move to approve or accept or whatever we do.
Right.
Move to approve. Trustee Baker, thank you. Second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Rios. Moved and properly seconded. Trustee Shaw, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Trustee Rios. How do you
Aye.
vote? Trustee Iverson.
Aye.
Trustee Goff.
Aye.
Trustee Dodd.
Aye.
Trustee DeLuna,
Aye.
Trustee Baker.
Aye.
Trustee Baldini is a aye. Motion carries, and that is our new board meeting calendar. So now we're on 20 closed session items. I'll leave it till next year. And announcement of future meetings, we have it January 14th, 2021. Any other business of the evening? I'll adjourn this.
Real quick, want to let everybody know that you can get really lucky black-eyed peas from Rancho Gordo right now. I don't. They're advertising them as like super lucky. So get them while they're available.
Oh. That'll be good. So with that, I'll adjourn this meeting and with the hopes and wishes to all of you for a safe and happy, healthy 2021 that we all look forward to. And Losara Segura, trustee, I gavel down. Thank you.
Thank
Be
you.
picked up next year by Jennifer
Happy
Baker,
holidays,
8:44.
Good night.
Good night. Happy holidays.
Good night.
Bye, guys.